Hi everybody, welcome. It's Monday night, so that means it's time for stamping with Denise. It's actually 8:30 tonight rather than 8 o'clock. I had a meeting I had to attend, so I'm starting a little bit later. Let me get this opened up on my computer. I'm gonna share it here to my Facebook page, so some of my other friends will find us. I have a really cute project. Okay, very good. So, hope everybody had a great weekend. It was kind of typical Michigan fall. Hi, Paula. Hi, Rita. I think I saw your name on there. Rainy and cold and kind of yucky, especially on Sunday. So typical weather for this time of year in Michigan. So if you recall, last week we made this really cute Christmas this easel Christmas card that could stand up like this. And remember, I asked you to, if you like what you see, to share. And if you do share, you might get a chance to win what I work on. Well, the winner of this card, remember I made I showed you different ones. Hello, Nancy, I saw you pop up. I showed you the snowman one. I showed you the one with the tree. This is still, I love this stamp set and dies with these funky trees. But I made this one on the live, and this is going to go to Sandy Miller. So Sandy, I don't know if I have your address, so I'll have to get it. If I don't, and I'll get this card out to you. I want to thank you so much for sharing. So all she did was she shared, and then she commented down below that she shared, and that gave her a chance to win that card. So I hope everybody's ready. I have to tell you, my new product information, came that I ordered from when I attended the virtual Stampin' Up event. There's some great stuff. Hello, Melanie. I see you. I see your comment. I think I saw Jackie too. Welcome, everybody. Gosh, maybe 8:30 is a better time than 8. I get more people on. But anyway, there's some cute stuff in the new catalog that starts in January. But there's still plenty of time and lots of great stuff in our holiday catalog. So don't forget about that. Before I turn the phone down, I want to show you what we're working on tonight, and this is totally different. I know it's kind of hard to see. I'm getting a glare from my lighting, but thought it was so cute, and so I'm going to show you how to do it, and I'm going to put the phone up in the holder, and we're going to get started. It's a great way to dress up a gift you might be given for the holidays. So hang tight. I actually got this idea from one of my downline. Why does it say my video ended? My computer says my video ended, but am I still live? There we go, I'm still live. I don't know, okay. Facebook's doing weird stuff lately. Okay, yep, there we go. So this was an idea from one of my downline. She did this, and I thought, that is a really cool idea. So I followed all of her directions and all of that, and I did mine, and didn't fit any wine bottles I had. I guess I just have big fat wine bottles here at my house. Whoops. So I had to kind of do a little bit of engineering. Yeah, see, this was the wine bottle I had, and it didn't quite make it around. So, but I'm going to show you how to kind of do the math and figure it out for your wine bottle that you're giving. So that's my disclaimer as we get started out. But this shows you how it is and what we're going to be making. Okay, so this is a piece of our designer series paper from the poinsettia paper. It's a little bit heavier. The other thing you could do is use cardstock. You do need 12 by 12. And like if you had a plain cardstock, you could cut panels out of designer series paper and glue them to each of these, sections. And she had done that. I just don't have any of the colored 12 by 12 cardstock. I only have 8.5 by 11, so there you go. Okay, so what I had to do first was, this is some sparkling cherry wine from one of our vineyards, our wineries here in Michigan. Chateau Chantal, Traverse City, it gotta go. Well, anyway, I started out by measuring the circumference of my bottle. And my circumference was about 10.25 inches. So I went ahead and left my dimension on my paper 12 inches. And it worked out just fine. I could have gone probably 11.5, but anyway. And then I kind of, like I said, I reverse engineered and figured out where I was going to, you know, do my score lines here. But I'll show you how I did it, and you can work on it. So I'm going to use, okay, I need my cutting my board out. This is from the Brightly Gleaming Designer Series paper. You may recognize it. It actually carried over from last year. They brought it back. It was so popular. It was one of my favorites. And this is navy blue, and it has copper stars on it on this side. But there were so many great patterns in this paper. Let me show you real quick here. I've got my pack that's got pieces in it, and then I've got a whole nother pack of it. But you can see it had some great paper in it. It has, you know, that in it. That pretty peacock. Look at that. You know, who doesn't like a little bit of bling? Let's see, here's, I don't know if you can see it. It's green. It's got some copper there for the leaves. So anyway, it's a great paper. I doubt very seriously that they're gonna keep it a third year. So if you want it, you need to stock up and order some. It's great. I used it a lot last year, and I'm going to do some more this year. So anyway, this is a 12 by 12 sheet. And so what I did, like I told you, I left it 12 by 12, you know, to go around my bottle. As you can see, it's not bad. It overlaps like about an inch. So, I mean, maybe I would have taken a half an inch off of that, made it 11.5, but I just left it at 12. And then for the height, I figured that 11 inches was a good height. So I am just going to cut off an inch. Yep, I'm at 11 inches there, and I'm going to cut that off. And what I'm going to do, so that I don't have to keep thinking, I'm going to put a little sticky note on there so that I know that's the top. Okay, and I'm going to take my cut, since I'm going to use this for a lot of scoring, I'm going to avoid any issues I might have and just take my cutting blade out of here. Then I know I'm not going to accidentally cut my paper. Been there, done that. Okay, so what I did was I took the 12-inch dimension, divided it, you know, sort of evenly. There's, let me see, I think there's 6 sides on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and then where it overlaps. So, my downline, when she had done it, each of her panels were 1 5/8. So I went just slightly bigger, and mine are in 1 3/4 inch increments. So I'm going to, this is across the 12-inch diameter, or 12-inch measurement. I am going to do 1 3/4, and I don't have to worry about cutting this because I took the cutting blade out. 3 1/2. 5 1/4. 7. 8 3/4. and 10 and a half. There we go. There we go for that direction. So that's our vertical direction. And let me see, that leaves my final section, how wide? 1.5 inches. So it's a little smaller than the 1 3/4 inches that the rest are. So that works fine. And then I'm going to score on the other dimension 2 inches on either end. Yes, 2 inches. And that's going to be where the top and the bottom, you know, the bottom folds under the bottle and the top tapers up to tie around your bottle. So 2. And then once I have the score lines on here, I'll be able to take my sticky note off. But, you know, especially when they're that close in measurement, it's just easy. I don't have to think twice. Now, if you're using, this designer series paper is a little heavier. It's not as heavy as cardstock, but it's heavier than a lot of it. But you need to be very careful if you're scoring on designer series paper, because if it's on the thinner side, you will tear your paper. So if you have, what I would suggest then, if you have something like that, is to use solid colored cardstock and then maybe glue panels on, you know, to fill these spots. So, okay, now what we're gonna do is cut all of these on the top and the bottom, these sections for the little flaps that are gonna fold in. So, and tight here. And we're going to do some trimming here, so don't, you know, if you're a little crooked, it's not that bad, because we are going to angle these, okay, so that they lay better. Really like this idea. It's like such a great way to kind of dress up a bottle of wine, give it a personal, you know, touch. Disclaimer, there's a couple products I'm going to use tonight that are retired, but there's certainly other things you could use, and it was just, I didn't have exactly what I needed for using this paper. So anyway, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lightly, I'm not going to use my bone folder, but I'm just going to kind of lightly bend these creases here, okay? And I'll show you why in a minute here. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, just kind of lightly bend them. See, that's the back side of this paper, and I think it's a great design too. This would be great for a bottle of wine for a guy. You know, navy blue and copper. Not too bad. Okay, so then what we want to do is, let's see, I'm going to start here. This is the full piece. This is the end piece that's going to tuck under. We're going to go in about 1/4 inch on each side and angle down. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do so that I can do more than one at a time. I'm going to fold them in half like that. And I made myself a little template this way, so I didn't even have to worry about, because you know what, I'm really bad at, if I just freehand cut it, they are not going to be even. Now on the bottom it probably wouldn't make a big difference, but on the top I think it would. And then you can see I've got the template started out for the holes, for punching the holes, so those were even. But I just ended up making it a little template for this too. And you know what, they're not going to be exact, but they're going to be close, and that's okay. And I'm cutting 2 at a time just by kind of folding my paper over. And like I said, it's not going to be exact, and most people are not going to even notice. And if they do and they don't like it, then they can give the give the wine back to you, right? There's some people, though, who are like that. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I saw something on Facebook yesterday. It said 40 sleeps until Christmas. I'm like, really? I hope there's a few more than that, but somehow I don't think so. Okay. Let me do, well, you know what, this one I can just line up with that one. You can see, oh, I know why that one doesn't match, because that last piece is not as wide. It's only an 1.5 inches versus 1 3/4 inches. So same thing here with the bottom. And see this, having this little template, especially if you're doing a lot of these, really helps. Now remember, you're only going to put holes on the top, okay? You're not going to obviously put holes in the bottom because there's no ribbon on the bottom. Duh. While I'm cutting this, I was going to mention, you know, sometimes I think I want to go live, you know, it's not it's not Monday night, I haven't scheduled anything. But you know what? I think I'm going to do something called pop-up projects. And when I've got a few minutes and I got something I want to show you, I might just do a pop-up live, okay? So if you see me, hang around, like my video, comment, you know, all the usual stuff. And never know, you might like what you see. But sometimes there's things I'd like to share with you. This one's not quite even, but again, no one's going to see it. Maybe this will be the bottom, who knows. But you know, again, no one's going to notice it because I'm going to have it all trimmed off. And the last one is right here. There you go. Good deal. And so you can see it's going to go together like that. So far, so good. So let's punch some holes. Let me get rid of this here. Okay. You know, the size holes you want to punch has a lot to do with what size ribbon you're going to use. This is some of the retired product I'm going to use. This was our copper trim that we had on the catalog for a couple of years. You know, these stars are copper. And I didn't have anything that was navy to tie it with. And so I went ahead and pulled this out. But I think some other kind of copper, you know, product would work. But I do want to show you. This is... See this ribbon here? This is kind of a very vanilla, and it's got a gold trim on it. This is that ribbon, same ribbon. I've just colored it with my blends. Are these them? Yep. This is the light night of navy, and that was the dark night of navy. I just colored it. It dried pretty quick, and I think that would have looked really cool on there too, even though that was gold and those are copper. But anyway, I show you that just to let you know, that took no time. I'd probably let it sit for a couple minutes just to make sure. But right after I did it, I ran my hands over it and nothing came off in my hands. So that's a great tip for coloring ribbon. Another thing I've done too is I've soaked it in re-inker. I took a little container filled with a little bit of alcohol, put a couple, 3 drops of re-inker, put the ribbon. Well, actually, I used it on baker's twine and soaked it in there. And the longer you soak it, the darker it gets. So that's another way to get your custom color. So let me see. Yep, this is my 1.5 inches. So I think we're going to make this part here the top. So this is a 1/4 inch hole punch. This is an old retired Stampin' Up! One, but you know what? It works just fine. And I think, now remember, you only have to punch on the top. I think I can do 2 at a time, but this just helps me get them in, some sort of, you know what I'm going to do instead? I did not punch these like that. What I did was, I think I took a little, where's my pencil at? I guess I'll use this one here. Oh, I know where my pencil's at. I just kind of made a circle in here. So I didn't make it exactly the size of the hole, but it just told me where to punch. Because, you know, I didn't want to keep punching through this and then my holes get kind of wonky. Been there, done that. So I'm not being very exact in terms of, but also what I'm drawing will get centered in my punch. That's what I'll do. And on this one too. Okay, that's good. There, now this will go right through. So if there's anything you need for your holiday cards, or even if you don't need it, you just want it, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you get an order put in. And if there's something you want on your wish list and maybe you want it for Christmas, I could, you know, get a Christmas, I could do a gift certificate too. You'd have to redeem it through me, but I have that as an option too. So let me know. It's not something you would, you know, you'd have to place your order with me, but there we go. Oh, this isn't hard, especially once you do, you know, a couple of them. Whoops. So if you, not everyone here that's watching is from Michigan, but our governor has put some restrictions in place starting, I think it's late tomorrow night, early Wednesday morning. So restaurants are closing for 3 weeks and a lot of other restrictions. So not sure what's happening with my classes yet. I'll have to look at my schedule and see. Hold on here. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm just, the little circles I drew, I just am putting it right in the center of the punch and punching it out. There we go. Bingo. We are done with that. Okay. And so I think what we will do is go ahead and glue this together. When you're doing a 3D project, you want to use an adhesive that's stronger. So you could, I'm going to use the Tombow green glue. You could also use the Terran tape, which is very good for a 3D project. And our new Seal Plus, which is very good for a project, 3D project, because it holds really well. So I'm going to let that, and see, I just don't even have to work at it because the fold, it just lays exactly where it needs to go. And there you go. See that we're going to fold the bottom in, and the tops, we'll draw it in, and that's it. Okay, so now the next thing on the bottom, where's my paper? We need a, on the bottom of this bottle, you can see I have a circle of old olive cardstock. Just kind of helps finish it off where the pieces are, you know, overlapping there. So I'm using our 2 1/4 inch punch, but really you could use any, you know, if you had any circle dies, anything like that, would work just fine for this. The, you know, the point is just something that's going to cover, you know, the vast majority of the bottom. Okay, what's not, what did I not, oh, hang on here. This is going to be a little hard to do on camera, I think. You know what I did? I put the bottle in there when I did it, so I had something to push against. So I'm going to put some glue on. This is going to be off camera for just a second, folks, while I put this on here because I got to rest it on my lap. I'm going to put, I'll show you here. Oops, let me open my glue back up. Put some glue on here. Show you. See, just like that. Then I'm going to put this circle right on top. There you go. I got a little bit on the outside. See, I just put it on there just like that. Can you see that? Okay, and I'm going to just turn it upside down, and that'll help keep it in place while it dries. So you could either go on and do something else or work on the top. I just got to clean up. I got a little bit of oozing here. Might be better off putting it on the circle rather than on the cardstock or on the whatever you're using, but there we go. Okay, so now we're going to work on the top here. And I am going to leave my copper trim attached here. And let me look at my sample here. Okay, it overlaps. It goes out the top. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go in this way. No. I'll go this. So when you're on the flap, we'll be behind so that when you're going from flap to flap, it's over the top. So that's the way you're gonna thread it through all of the holes, okay? So I'm gonna set it up while I do that. And by doing it that way, that will help hold them in place. Now, you could, use a corner rounder on these square corners. I decided not to go there. I mean, you could. We certainly have one on our trio punch right here. I'm going to use this, I'm going to use it later on the tag. So let me get this, and I just leave my trim attached to my bolt so I don't have to cut more. And then, okay, so I've a little bit like lacing a shoe there. Okay, so now I've come, you see I brought it through just like that. And I'm going to set it up, I'm going to tie it off into a bow. I'm just going to kind of snug it up. Make sure and I will bring it back down to you here. I'm going to cut this end off now. Now, if you remember this copper trim, you could spread it out and it almost looked a little bit like, netting or something like that. I'm not going to do that with this bow. I'm going to leave it like this, I think. So if you like what you see, share. And now I won't be able to send you the wine bottle holder unless you're local. Yeah, you know what? I might have to open that up a little bit. Let's see, because that's looks kind of bad. So what we can do is kind of spread this apart, I guess, a little bit. I don't want to go too much. But I will, if you share and your name's chosen, I will definitely send you a card. Maybe I'll send you one using this cool paper, okay? I know I've got some to make like that, so there we go. This gives us just you can see how you can kind of spread it out. Let me do it standing up here. Sorry guys, I know this isn't the best project for this kind of, but we're gonna make it work because crafters are adaptable, aren't they? Yeah, with the governor shutting down restaurants for 3 weeks, that includes for Thanksgiving. We usually go out for Thanksgiving. There's just 3 of us, and to be honest, only my husband likes turkey. My son and I don't much care for it, but I guess we'll be eating some turkey. So I'm gonna also do this on the part that hangs down here. Like I said, I don't want to go too much. I can always pull more if I need to, but not, yeah, let me see. This gives it a little bit more fullness. You guys can't see. Let me see if you can see that a little better now. I'll probably trim that off a little bit there. So then we're going to work on a tag. There we go. There we go. I might, you know, find something to put in there, or maybe we'll just hang the tag right out of the center of the bow. Okay, so there we go. Yay! Now we're going to work on the tag. On this one, you know, I just used some Very Vanilla and used the tag topper punch and cut some holly leaves out of another piece of designer series paper, put a sentiment on it, rounded the corners, tied it with a little ribbon, and we're done. So it's going to be kind of like that. So I'm using the same paper. I decided to do that. It's 2 inches wide. I don't know how long I'm going to want it. I'm going to see once I get it decorated here. My video stopped on Facebook. All of a sudden it'll say we can't show the video anymore, but it looks like I'm still live. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to put this 2-inch wide piece in here. I'm going to give it the tag topper on it to start with. There we go. Let's see. This is a piece of, I used this stamp set. This is what coordinated with this paper, this Christmas gleaming set. I used this stamp here. I used Versamark, stamped it, and heat embossed with copper. Now our copper embossing powder has retired. The copper foil is still available. And this was one I had left over from last year. Fair, you know, full disclosure. So I always save those things, you know, because once in a while they're going to come in handy. So I think we're going to put it on here. I think I want to put it on here like this, probably. But I want to get my sentiment. I realized I could have used this sentiment here out of this stamp set, but I decided what I have is this one. I have Merry Christmas to You and Yours, and I'm gonna put those on there individually. I'm gonna stamp them with Night of Navy. Let me get a little foam mat since this is photopolymer. And I'm just gonna stamp them on here, just like that. And then they're gonna get cut out, and, you know, cut around them and trim. And the reason I did that is I didn't want a whole lot of I wanted the letters in Very Vanilla. I didn't want a lot of background in Very Vanilla. So, put that over there. I've already cut them out. It says To You and Yours. Merry Christmas to You and Yours. I already did it. And I have some, what are these called? Foam adhesive sheets. These were new in our catalog in July, and I just love it because it's just like our dimensionals, but it's big foam squares, so you can use them for die cuts or anything like that. I just cut little strips and put it on the back here. So I think, you know what, I think I'm gonna, since I put the foam strips on here, I think I'm gonna make this flat, so that because it may not stay on if I don't. So let's do this here. That might be a little too much glue, but we'll see. I'm gonna put it right here. There we go. So I'm gonna put on here Merry. I think we're gonna put it like this. Merry Christmas to You and Yours. Yeah, see, the Merry and Christmas would have been fine, but the To You and Yours would have been like hanging off. It wouldn't have been attached very well, so I like it this way. Okay. Let me get my little tool to help me hold this here. Oops. There we go. This just helps me get it placed. There's Mary. The other thing I could have used on these was our adhesive sheets. And Merry Christmas, where it makes it like a sticker. But this is what I had in mind, so we'll stick with this. Oh, I know what I didn't do. I didn't round the corners on my tag. To you and yours. Oh, look at that. That is exactly 2 inches, the width of that. Couldn't have planned that if I tried. I didn't think of that. So I'm going to use our detailed trio punch, and one of the corners is a corner rounder. So I'm going to try, now that I've done this, you know what? There we go. I'm going to get that in there. Do it before you put your words on. There we go. Just kind of finishes off. And so there's the tag. And I don't know, let's see. I think I'm just going to use some of this, cut a piece of this off to tie this on here like this. And I'd play with the bow a little bit probably to make it a little bit, you know, more, whoops, let me get that under there. Put that on there. I'm just going to cut this, or not cut it, tie it on here like this. And there we go. Perfect. You know, it'd be perfect for the guy in your life, you know, someone you have to give, a male you have to give a, that you're giving a bottle of wine to. Let me trim that end off there. There we go. Yeah, see, if you remember this mesh, this copper mesh spreads really, you can really spread it out. So, okay, so there we go. Hope you like that. So it's not too hard to come up with a, you know, cover for your bottle. Just a little, I would suggest a template first, you know, just so you don't waste a good sheet of designer series paper like I did here. Now, what I could do if I wanted to, if I had some 12 by 12 design, or like an old olive or some of the brown, I could still use these panels and cut them out and apply them, you know, right on there. And who knows, maybe I will. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you'll come back next week, and don't forget to share my video, and watch for a pop-up project. I never know when I might show up. Take care, guys. Have a great week, and do something crafty. Bye now.